Once upon a time, there lived a pretty young 20-year-old lady named Eileen. She's said to be the hottest lady in town. She lives a reckless lifestyle. She sleeps with men for money. She believes life is meant to be enjoyed, and she will not let anything stop her from enjoying her life to the fullest. Every man, both single and married, wants to have a taste of her. Eileen's parents are core believers. Her father is a pastor and a founder of a church with so many followers, and he runs the church with his wife. Eileen's parents disowned her because of her lifestyle. She slept with half of the men in her father's church who were willing to give her money or any other material things. She has done so many abortions in the past and vows never to have a child. She believes having a child will ruin her body and stop her from living her baby girl lifestyle. One day, she noticed she was falling sick. She decided to go to the hospital to see the doctor. After running several tests, she found out that she's pregnant. As usual, Eileen told the doctor that she wanted to get rid of it. "Doctor, you know how we do it. Let's get this baby out real quick." The doctor replied Eileen saying, "Do you remember what I told you the last time you had an abortion?" "Yes, I do, doctor, but I can't afford to be a mother right now," Eileen replied. The doctor continued with his explanation saying, "You had a complication the last time you had an abortion, and I told you that should be the last time you ever try it. You might lose your life or your womb if you attempt to do an abortion again. Do you want to die?" Eileen became angry. She shouted at the doctor, saying he is incompetent and daft. She proceeded to another clinic to have the baby taken out, but she was advised not to have an abortion after a series of tests showed that she might lose her life or lose her womb. Dejected and angry, Eileen became depressed. She found it hard to believe that she's going to be having a baby soon. She didn't even know who the father of the baby was. After thinking for so many days, she decided to move to another town, a place far from where she's currently living. And 9 months later, she gave birth to a bouncing baby boy. Instead of her to be happy, she would look at the baby with so much disgust and blame him for making the past 9 months miserable and almost unbearable for her. She quickly came up with a plan to dump the baby in the slum and move back to the city, where she could resume her reckless lifestyle. One evening, after making up her mind, Eileen picked up the baby and walked down to the slum area. Without any hesitation or remorse, she dumped the baby on the floor. Ignoring his cries, she turned away and walked away, never looking back. She didn't even care if the baby is going to survive the night or not. The next morning, Eileen quickly packed her bags and moved back to the city where she used to live. She lied to everyone that she traveled abroad and she's back for good. While she's going about lying to people about her sudden disappearance, the baby she left in the slum was crying heavily. The cry of the baby caught the attention of those walking near the slum area. They were all confused and scared. They couldn't go near the baby. Whose baby is this? Why would someone abandon their child here? What a wicked world, they whispered to each other. One man named Tunde could not bear the cry of the baby. He hurriedly picked up the baby and cuddled him gently, took him home. On getting home, Tunde's wife Aisha was dumbfounded. "Where did you get this baby from?" Aisha curiously asked Tunde, and he explained, saying, "My wife, I saw this little boy in the slum while I was walking. I could not leave him there. I'm sure someone must have abandoned him there." Aisha, still in shock, voiced her concerns. "And you are sure no one is looking for this baby? I don't want any trouble, oh, please." She took the baby from him, showered him, and made sure to take good care of him. Tunde and Aisha had been married for 10 years with no child. They didn't know if they were doing the right thing by having a child of a stranger in their home. They are scared of people calling them a kidnapper if they find out the truth about the baby. After so much consideration, they decided to keep the baby for themselves, hoping if they take care of him, it will bring some good luck and blessings to them, and one day they might have a child of their own. They named him Ayo, meaning joy. The news of the mystery baby spread throughout the town. People watched Tunde and Aisha closely to see how they treated the boy. As time passed, Ayo grew into a loving, intelligent boy. He was kind and respectful, and grateful for the love Tunde and Aisha showered upon him. Despite their modest means, they ensured Ayo was well cared for, treating him as their biological child. However, Ayo was not entirely happy. He often felt sad and isolated, struggling with the stigma attached to his origins. One evening, while they were sitting in the sitting room, Tunde noticed the change in Ayo and said to him, "My boy, what's the matter? I noticed you are not as cheerful and playful as you used to be. You barely smile these days. Did your mother scold you?" Ayo replied his dad, "I'm sad, Daddy. Everywhere I go to, they call me Slum Baby. They have a song they always sing for me. They said it was the dirty slum demon that gave birth to me." Tunde quickly stopped him from saying all that. "Shh, don't say that again. You are my child, my only son. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Forget all the names they call you outside. That's not you. You are my boy and I love you so much." Tunde further assured him that he is not who the community says he is. Despite Tunde's reassurances, Ayo continues to face bullying and mockery at school. His classmates taunted him, singing cruel songs and making fun of his origins. Slum baby, the only son of the dirty demon. They wind him up. Their words cut deep into Ayo's heart. He will cry his eyes out and sometimes run away from the class to hide somewhere. While Ayo struggled with constant bullying, Ellen carried on with her reckless lifestyle. She bothered less about the fate of the child she had abandoned. She continued to pursue wealth, pleasure, never for once considered the probability of her actions and the consequence that might come after. One day, as Ellen was out and about her daily business, she met a very popular and wealthy politician named Senator Raymond. He is a very influential man that every lady wants to have as a sugar daddy. Senator Raymond has 5 wives, but that does not stop him from chasing after every single lady that catches his eyes. Ellen had been praying so hard to meet him for a while so that she could have a share of his wealth. As time goes on, they got talking and she joined the long list of Senator Raymond's concubines, and she hoped that someday she would finally become one of his legal wives and bear some children for him. Her level increased and her rank on the street entered the legend mode, as Senator Raymond didn't hesitate to spoil her with so much money. However, after so many years of dating him, he refused to marry her. Ellen, now growing older, became increasingly desperate. She wanted to settle down and saw Senator Raymond as her ticket to secure a future. Despite all her best efforts, she couldn't conceive a child with him. Ellen became miserable and unhappy. Her inability to conceive drove her to despair. She visited numerous hospitals and clinics to see different specialists, but all to no avail. She slowly believes the fact that God is punishing her for her past sins. "Oh God, I know I have done so many bad things in the past. Please forgive me and grant me this one wish, to have a child for Senator Raymond so I can be his wife." Ellen prayed. Her voice was filled with hope. While Ellen is running helter-skelter, looking for solution to her childbirth problem, Ayo is growing against all odds, proving those who bully him and call him different bad names wrong by excelling in his studies and other aspects of his life, making his parents proud. He recently finished secondary school as the best graduating student and won a scholarship to study any course of his choice at the university. He wasn't sure of what he wanted to become in the future. All he has always desired is to be rich enough to help as many abandoned children and orphans as possible. He believed he was lucky to be saved by his now parents, Tunde and Aisha. One day, after thinking hard about his future, he said to his mother Aisha, "Mom, I think I want to be a doctor. I want to save lives. I think it's a profession I would enjoy for the rest of my life." Aisha was overjoyed, and she immediately shared the news with Tunde. They couldn't be prouder of their son. Although Ayo wasn't their biological child, but he had brought immense joy into their lives, and they are thankful to God for that. After a few months, the universe did play a trick on Ellen, as Ayo, the little boy she abandoned years ago, chose to attend a prestigious university in the city where Ellen lived. He knew the school produced some of the best doctors in the country. He settled well in the school and began his journey towards becoming a medical doctor. 4 years later, despite all her efforts, Ellen's situation worsened. She remained childless and was approaching menopause. Happiness slowly faded away from her world. She became sad about her current situation with Senator Raymond, and she said to herself, "I can't be this man's side chick forever. He will see another woman somewhere and forget me. I have to do all it takes for him to marry me. What if he dies today? What will be my gain from going out with him all these years? I don't care what I will get myself into. I want to be Senator's wife and nothing else. If he can spend this much on me as his concubine, imagine how much of his wealth I will have access to as his wife. I can't be a loser in this life, I beg." After seeking advice from people on how to find a solution to her barrenness, she was told about a powerful man in a neighboring town that helps people who are unable to bear a child. She quickly picked up herself and embarked on a journey to the said town. But tragedy struck as Ellen was involved in a very fatal motor accident that took the life of her driver and left her in a coma. Darkness filled her world as she lay helplessly in the hospital bed. While she is in a coma and fighting for her life, she began to see the face of her baby and have flashbacks of how she dumped him at the slum area. She had no friends or family to pay her a visit or pray for her recovery. After a few weeks in the intensive care unit, Ellen finally woke up and immediately she started screaming, my boy, please help me find my boy. I want to see my boy, please." She was terrified and in pain. The doctors rushed to attend to her, ensuring she was stable. After a while, Ellen gradually regained her strength. The doctors decided it was time to discuss about her condition with her. "Miss Ellen, how are you feeling today? We are glad to have you back," the doctor said kindly. Ellen replied calmly, "I'm fine, doctor. Thanks for asking. But where is my driver? Is he okay?" The doctor's expression turned sour. "We are deeply sorry, Miss Ellen. Your driver didn't survive the accident. He died on the spot." Ellen's eyes filled with tears. She wailed, her grief consuming her. "Please take it easy, Miss Ellen. We have been meaning to ask you, by the way, do you have any family members that we can talk to? We need to discuss some issues about your health, and we are afraid you might need support of a person or a close friend." Ellen became curious and scared. "I don't have any family or friends. Am I going to die? I'm old enough to handle my emotions. Please, whatever is happening to me, you need to tell me. I need to know." Ellen assured the doctor that she could handle whatever the doctors wanted to share. "The accident affected your spinal cord and knees. I'm afraid you might not be able to walk again for the rest of your life," the doctor said to Ellen. On hearing this, she lost it. She started sweating and crying heavily. She became very devastated. I am finished, oh. How will I survive without my legs?" While she was receiving treatment, her sugar daddy, Senator Raymond, never set foot in the hospital to check up on her. He ignores her totally. After all, she was not useful for his enjoyment at that moment, so he moved on to the arms of the next beautiful woman available to him. After 3 months in the hospital, she was discharged and taken home. She hired a maid to help her around the house. A few years ago, Ellen was too carried away with enjoying life and lavishing money on irrelevant things than setting up herself and having a business. She worried less about the future. She was so sure that she would end up getting married to a wealthy man and have a secure future. But now, her present situation has put her in an uncomfortable position. After trying so hard to reach out to Senator Raymond, she finally got his attention as he sent her a text message saying, "Ellen, my dear, how are you? I heard all about the things that happened to you recently, and I am deeply sorry that I couldn't find time to come visit you. You know I'm a very busy man. That's why you haven't been able to reach me. This might be the last time you hear from me, as you are not useful to me anymore. Please get well soon. Ellen almost ran mad. Her meal ticket had been taken away from her. The man she thought would give her the world had moved on to another woman. She would be in deep thought every day and night, wishing she had lived a more civil life. While life was dealing with Ellen, her abandoned son Ayo kept breaking boundaries, as he recently completed his degrees and graduated as one of the best graduating doctors. He got employed in one of the biggest private hospitals in the country. Tunde and Aisha never stopped thanking God. Since Ayo came into their life, they have always been happy and things went from bad to better for them. They can now call themselves the father and mother of a doctor. The people that used to call Ayo slum baby are now using his blessings and progress in life as a prayer point for themselves and their children. In order to make sure she doesn't suffer for the rest of her life, Ellen started looking for businesses to do or startup companies she could invest in. She had saved up some money when she was dating Senator Raymond. She decided to ask for help from people she knows. While Ellen was on the phone talking to some people about wanting to invest in something that would bring profit later, her maid Tinuke was eavesdropping. Tinuke came up with a plan to swindle Ellen. She quickly called her Yahoo boyfriend who is into internet fraud. They came up with a perfect plan. Tinuke found a way to get her boyfriend to meet with Ellen and pitch his business ideas to her. After thinking hard for a few days, Ellen decided to do business with him, and they hurriedly moved on to sign some documents to make the partnership official. 5 days after sealing the business deal, while Ellen was in the sitting room, her maid, Tinuke, came to inform her that she needed to go to the market to do some shopping, saying, "Madam, please, I want to quickly rush to the market to buy some ingredients for dinner. Do you want me to do anything before I leave?" Ellen gently replied, "No, I'm okay. Make sure you don't stay too long. By the way, why are you carrying a bag with you?" Tinuke smiled and said to Ellen, "It's nothing serious. I want to drop off some of my clothes I don't wear anymore with some of the beggars in the market." After that, Tinuke left and never came back. Ellen became worried and said to herself, "Where would this girl be? I told her not to come back late. What kind of thing is this? And I'm so hungry right now, eh?" The night passed and Tinuke did not come back. Ellen starts to panic heavily. She does not know who to call or what to do. She starts to call the police because she cannot bear it anymore. But they told her they can't declare her missing yet until she goes missing for 48 hours. Ellen has no idea that her life is about to go from bad to worse. While she was worried sick, she got a text from Tinuke. She was so surprised, curious, eager to know what the content of the message is. "Hello, madam. I hope you are doing well. I want to save you a lot of stress by sending you this message. I just want to let you know that I'm not working with you any longer. And in case you don't know, the man you invested in his business is my boyfriend and we have scammed you. All your money is gone. I overheard you talking about wanting to put your money in a business and I took advantage of it. Don't even bother looking for us because you will never find us. Have a wonderful day, ma. Regards." Tinuke and her internet fraudster boyfriend traveled out of the country and relocated to another country where they could enjoy all the money. Ellen started sweating. Another arrow had hit her in the chest. She's still dealing with not being able to walk, and now this. She started thinking of ways to kill herself because she concluded that there was nothing left for her in this world. As months went by, she was sent out of the apartment she lived in because she couldn't afford to pay the rent. She has nowhere else to go to, no family, no friends. To survive, Ellen became a beggar on the street. She started sleeping in the slum. The stench of the slum became the only air she breathed in. One day, while she was begging on the street, she intentionally moved her wheelchair into a moving car. She is tired of life and just wants to die. Thankfully, the moving car wasn't at full speed. It slowed down just in time enough not to hit her. And guess what? The boy she abandoned at the slum many years ago was the man driving the car. Immediately after the near-miss incident, Ayo started panicking. He was scared. He quickly rushed down to be sure that the woman he almost hit with his car is okay. "Madam, are you okay? I hope I didn't hurt you." With tears rolling down her cheek, Ellen replied, "Why did you stop your car? You should have ran me over and killed me. My life is miserable. I just want to die." Ayo became more worried. He quickly rushed Ellen to the hospital so that she could be taken care of properly. While Ellen was resting, Ayo couldn't stop thinking about what happened. He thought of many reasons why Ellen would want to kill herself, and he could have gotten into a trouble by killing her. After a while, Ellen got better, and Ayo said to her, "Madam, how are you feeling? I hope you have rested well." Ellen assured Ayo that she is feeling better and thanked him for taking care of her. Ayo continued saying, "But madam, why would you want to kill yourself? Why did you think death is the solution to whatever you are going through?" Ellen started crying. She had nothing to hide anymore. She started narrating her story, telling Ayo about her journey so far and the events that led up to the accident. On hearing all Ellen had to say, Ayo got emotional. He felt a strange sense of familiarity. He started connecting the dots as the name of the town and the particular position she said she dropped her baby is where he was found. He didn't want to be too sure or make unnecessary assumptions. He assured her that everything would be alright and he would do his best to take good care of her. He excused himself from Ellen's ward and went to the office, crying and saying to himself, "If my assumptions are right, this woman is my biological mother. I will never forgive her. I just can't." Ayo quickly swung into action by carrying out a maternity test to confirm if she was his biological mother or not. The result came out and it was positive. Ayo finally confirmed that Ellen is his biological mother. He dropped to his knees and screamed. He was very, very devastated. He has a lot of questions in his head that he would like to ask her. Ayo traveled back to inform his parents, Tunde and Aisha, about the incident that led to the sudden discovery of his mother. He also made it known to them that he is very, very angry and the only thing he has towards his mother is hatred. His parents understood how he felt and made sure to advise him to calm down. "My boy, you know we love you so much and we will always be here for you, but it does not change the fact that we are not your biological parent. Your mother will always be your mother. You just have to learn to forgive and forget. Look on the bright side. God has always found a way to bless you, despite all the things you have been through in life. Please forgive your mother and let peace reign." Ayo thought so hard about what his parents said and decided to forgive Ellen. He knew hatred would not do him any good. He decided to let bygones be bygones and focus on how he would build a relationship with his mother. After a few days, he traveled back to the hospital to see Ellen. He couldn't wait to open up to her that he is her son. On getting to the hospital, after checking up on Ellen and seeing how she's faring, he showed her the results and said, "Please take this and go through the results, ma." Ellen is curious, and she said with a trembling voice, "Why? What is this about? Am I dying?" she asked. Ayo assures her that it is good news, but she has to find out herself. Ellen carefully looked at the test results. Her mind is racing. "Jesus, are you serious? Is this not your name I'm seeing on this result? You are my son. My son is alive. Thank you, God, my son is alive," she shouted. Ellen's heart ached with regret and sorrow, tears streaming down her cheek as she asked for forgiveness. "I'm sorry, my son, I'm sorry. I didn't know better. I was young and stupid. Please find a place in your heart to forgive me." They both shed tears of joy. What an emotional scene as Ayo finally meets his mother, Ellen, and they have their first moment as mother and son. Ayo and Ellen began to rebuild their relationship slowly but surely. She began to understand the true meaning of love and sacrifice. After a few days, Tunde and Aisha met with Ellen, and she couldn't stop thanking them for taking good care of her son. As time passed, Ellen's health improved and she dedicated herself to helping others. She started a charity to support abandoned and orphaned children, hoping to prevent other children from experiencing what her son, Ayo, had gone through. Let us know what you think about this story in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories.